I have been trying to get clients for almost a year now, and I finally understand why most people never get their first one. And I am not saying this as a guru, I am still in it. So, I myself haven't been completely consistent in doing my outreach. I used to outreach like 3 to 4 days a week, and sometimes I wouldn't, and sometimes I would just leave the whole week and don't do any outreach and just be like watching reels or something. And yeah, that costed me a lot. I would say I was more persistent than consistent. And I wasn't perfect, but I saw the dream and I didn't quit. So there were many reasons, and mostly people do have the same reasons to maybe not getting their first client or maybe delaying their first client. So what was the first reason? It was me being inconsistent. Yeah, I wasn't totally consistent like I told. I would let you all on a story that when I got my first client, I got way too comfortable, and yeah, it slowed down the process totally. Also, I posted a YouTube video saying that I got my first client, and after that video, I posted another video almost 5 months later. See that was the timeline. I was comfortable and totally forgot to do anything, and maybe it was because most people stopped when they see small results, and yeah, I was one of them. And let's say that I have a lesson now and I wouldn't repeat it ever again in my life. So, the second reason was that the wait for getting a client is too long. I expected that getting a client would take me bit of time. But yeah, I thought it would be like 3 to 4 months. Who knew that I would take like an almost a year? I got my first client after like 11 or 12, almost 12 months, I guess. But yeah, that is a challenge. It took me an year to understand things probably. Yeah, and that's the reason I got my client late. So yeah, let's move on to the next reason. It would be avoiding hard things. So what I did was I completely avoided cold calls and I was totally hesitant getting onto meetings with my leads. Even those that would be replying me, I was hesitant. Even though I didn't get any meeting for almost a year, but I was hesitant that what if I get a meeting? What if I cold call? That what if is what killed so much of my time, and I could have got at the ta- place of getting my first client faster if I would have just cold called. And the another reason would be me being an overthinker. Yeah, and overthinking totally kills the process. I would totally overthink like what are the tools I need to start this? What is the like before cold calling? I would say I need a perfect script to pitch him or pitch the person that the lead I have. I have to pitch him, and I totally need a script. Only then I can pitch. But on that part I was totally wrong. I used to wait for things to be perfect before executing, but now I execute it and I would like just figure out the things along the way. Like just start being imperfect and you will be perfect over time while you work. So the next reason would be real work is boring. The work that I say is boring is by that I mean is that what do you think that finding leads daily, sending mails, following up, is it a fun work to do? It is totally not. It's so boring that you will, or any person, not only you or me, any human in this world would totally get like fed up from that thing in just a week or two. But yeah, the work is repetitive and totally boring, and that is where most people quit. So, also, I was very. So, the next reason would be I was very bad at work efficiency, I would say. I used to work like 8 to 12 hours maybe in a day, and then the next day I would like not work totally at all. And that is also what delayed my first client. And yeah, now what I do is I do like 3 to 4 hours of deep work without any distractions. And yeah, that is all. Also, what I was doing earlier, I used to work and play music. And if you don't believe me, try sending emails when you are listening to music, and then when you are not listening to music. You will see the difference. That when I stopped listening to music, I was able to send more emails than I would have when I was listening to it. Yeah, and you think you are working, but you are not working enough. That is what is called as low work efficiency. And yeah, that is also one of the reasons. So, after all, I would say that I have been thinking of quitting almost daily, but I didn't. Almost every day I thought about quitting. Almost every day. So, if I would say that the things I have realized from all of that, all the work I have done for more than a year now, the process is way more longer than people think. And yeah, you have to be ready for it. Also, another big realization would be that if I had a mentor, I could have sped this process a lot, and I could have reached the goal of getting my first client even faster. And yeah, that's why I never think that getting a mentor or getting a coach or buying a course online for doing the same would have been a bad idea. Yeah, I thought it would have been a bad idea, but when I did the work without a coach, I realized that yeah, courses and coaches are really important, and you need them not because you need them, not because like that they will you cannot do it without them, but yeah, you need them because they can fasten your process very that can affect your process very deeply, and you can reach your goals very fast. You wouldn't have imagined that if I got an year for I took an year for getting my first client. If I had a coach or a course guiding me through that all that, I would have done it literally like maybe only a month. I would say that would have been the maximum time if I knew all the things that I know now for getting to the point of getting my first client. And yeah, cold calling might be actually easier than emails because you get answers immediately. And why I am so hell bent on saying that you should start cold calling even before you do outreach through emails is because whenever you send an email, you have to wait like for 2 to 3 days for your email to get opened, and you don't even know if the email has been opened if you don't have an email tracker, right? So if you just do a cold call, you are on the call, you get to know that if the person is interested or not on the right on the call. And that is the point of cold calling, that you don't have to wait and you can really speed up the process if you don't just focus on cold emails or cold calls. But if you want to get the most fastest results, I would say that you should do both cold calls and emails from my own experience, because what I did was I just did cold emails, and yeah, that you can see how much time it costed me. And at last but not least, I would say that I am still figuring it out, still working, still improving. So I am not saying this as a guru, not at all, because I am still in the process, and it's totally up to you if you believe in me or do the things I say or not. You can just do all of the process and it will take you time like it took me, because I didn't believe in anyone too. I thought that what I do is totally correct, and I would say that all the course sellers are scammers and all. But yeah, I had to face the harsh truth that not all course sellers are scammers.